Alright, so we're going to show how to convert your pre-facelift mirror, which has no signal light or puddle light, since we have that option too, to make it look more like the facelift. So as you can see, this is one we already built it. It has the puddle light in the bottom, but this is the one that we're going to be installing on this one, so you have the facelift look. Alright, so now we're going to jump into the removing the housing of the OEM one, which has no signal light, to install ours that has the signal light. But to remove this mirror properly, you have to flip the whole housing upside down. Because once you flip it upside down, you'll have a better angle of where to put your panel popper tool in there, so you'll be able to remove it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the process. Okay, so this is the mirror. It's already flipped upside down, as I mentioned, because you have better access through the bottom. The tabs, there's two little tabs that clip on around here. So if the tabs are in here, you're going to want to put this tool like right between the middle of the tabs and then pry it out. Okay, so the hole that I'm talking about is located literally right here where I'm putting the tool. Okay, and all you got to do is start putting it in and push it in slowly. And don't force it, do it real slowly and careful, because if you force it, you could break your mirror. So I just want to make sure you do it carefully with a panel popper tool, and you'll be able to remove it. So I'm just going to go ahead and start the process right now so you can get a better understanding of what I'm referring. Alright, the tabs I was actually referring about in the hole is this one right here. So you see right here the little, how it dips down, and there's a little hole. This is where you're going to put your popper panel tool in here, and just push it all the way in, and then pivot it side to side. So this clip and this clip right here become loose. Once those become loose, all you got to do is then bend it up a little bit without clipping them back on, and removing the mirror, because these clips are still intact over here on this side. So that's how you remove the mirror glass from the cover. Alright, now that we completely removed it and everything's good, we want to unplug the heater for the mirror. So just wiggle it side to side real carefully. I like holding the tabs with my other finger, because it seems like they're just glued on. These right here, they're just glued on, so I always hold it down while I wiggle this one and pull it out. And that's how you remove the glass with no issues. So the next step I want to do is remove this the weather seal, because we're going to have to run our wires through here. And you could go ahead and also remove this rubber piece right here. All you got to do is pull it up, and it should start popping out. And there you go. Alright, now the next step, we're going to have to flip the mirror to its opposite side to locate a bolt that's located underneath. So what you do is you set it flat like this, and then you pull it back like the way I did, and then you expose the bottom bolt right here. Alright, this bolt right here is a T10. So all the bolts that this mirror has are T10, which is like the little star. And that's how you remove this one first. So I'll start removing this one. There you go. It's gonna be this one right here, this one right here, and this one down here. These are the ones holding the motor to the housing. Alright, the last two you're going to want to remove is going to be these two, which are holding the last two screws that are holding the mirror cover. Alright, now that we took all the screws off, the bottom one, now we can start removing slowly the casing. So all you got to do is lift it a little bit, and it should start coming off. Like so. The reason we request to remove the mortar is because when you try to remove this, it's not gonna all fit through here. So first you have to feed one through, which is the bracket, and then we slide out the mortar. Okay, now that we have done that, the old gasket is starting to fall apart, as you can see it here. So this is the old gasket. It's all dried up and broken up, but don't worry, because we include a gasket, a brand new one. So a brand new gasket is also provided, so everything is perfectly fine. So you could go ahead and just finish removing all the old gasket, even though if it comes out in pieces, but it has to be completely removed. So now we have the housing separated from the casing right here, which this is the factory one, and we'll just start right now the process of installing the new one. Alright, now that we got everything on the side, this is the actual housing that holds the mirror, the mortar, the casing, everything. For this light, when you're putting it to fit properly and you're not having any issues at all, we suggest to trim up a little bit of this tab right here. Only this one. Everything else is fine. It's just this tab, once you put it, as you can see right here, this little part right here is gonna hit where the wire comes out from. Is gonna hit here. So all we do is trim out a little piece so you don't have that issue. And it's real simple. We're gonna use some pliers to just rip it off a little bit, because it's just a small piece that you have to remove. So as I mentioned, it's really minimal what you have to remove, but it will help tremendously. All that we ended up removing and breaking off is those little small pieces right there. I'll move them to the side and I'll show you here. It's just a little indentation going in, but that'll give you the clearance for the light to sit properly. Like, you could sand it down, you could do other stuff, but there's no movement here, so we're just gonna go ahead and mount it, since the wire is gonna fish around it, and it should have no issues. Alright, so the next step is we're going to install now the new gasket that we got. So first I'll put it in through the mortar. Then I'll start fishing it through the housing. And then it should slide all the way down. Okay, where I first like to start is around this section here where it drops, because the gasket has to go in here, in this little groove right here. Inside there. So I'll first start through here, feeding it and making sure it's aligned over here, and once it's aligned, I'll use the same tool to feed it through it, make sure it's in there, and then guide the other corner over here. So as you can see, it all has guides. It has little guides where little rivets are, or little points, guide points, and I gotta make sure it's sitting properly. So that's the gasket installed all the way around, wrapping around to give that good seal. Okay, so we also include some extra wire, as will be included with your package. Some red one and also some white ones for the puddle light, but this one right here is for the signal light. Okay, and if you can see here, the signal light already comes with a little connection. The wire, the way it got provided also with this little tab. But all you gotta do is remove it, since this one will connect directly to your mirror signal light, as you can see. So it's kind of a plug and play. But first we gotta run the wire for this, so it fits perfectly. So first what I'm gonna do, through the same hole that you see right here where all the wires are being fished through, like all the OEM ones, you're just going to push this one in through there. And it should eventually pop out through back here. As you can see, it's already popping out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull it all the way to where we need it, and just feed it through this hole also. So it's kind of like already like good in that location. So it should be good like that. Alright, so that's one. So this is the signal light one. Okay, so it's already fished through it. So we'll be able to tap it to the casing where the light is. Alright, so here's the white wire. Okay, and to properly run this wire, you have to run it through this hole, because we're gonna feed it through this one right here, and for it to fit perfectly. So we put it in through here first, then we put it through the hole where all the wires are being run through. And as mentioned, the wires should just pop out through the other side, and we'll leave it like that for now with a little bit of play so we can start putting this thing back in there. Alright, so now we're gonna start putting the cover back together. The first thing I want to feed through it is gonna be the motor. Alright, and now we can start fitting the casing and housing in there too. Alright, now that we got everything in here, as you can see, we got the white wire, the red wire, the heater, and everything else. We're just gonna go ahead and put the bottom screw first, which is the one down here, so it could hold almost everything in place. There we go. Alright, now that I got everything in place, I got the mortar a little bit to the side, and also the wires, because these wires, the ones we just ran, we run them behind this casing, so in case the mortar moves or anything, they don't get jammed or stuck. Just lift this casing a little bit from the back, so then the whole wire should be able to slide through the back, like so. And then if you see, I'll pull it and it'll start running through the back. And now it's nice and hidden with nothing obstructing it or getting in the way in case the motor has to move or anything. Next thing we want to do is same thing with our mirror signal light. We might want to do the same thing. So for this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it a little bit. I'm going to put my fingers through the back so I could get this tip, the one that's coming in through the back, and I'll be able to hook it up through the back. Alright, so this is the wire. As you can see, I'm pulling it. It's this one, and this is the mirror signal light. All we gotta do is tap it in, and once it's tapped in, pull the red wire, and everything should go behind the casing, like this now. So now everything's nice and hidden, and once you put your motor, nothing will get on the way of the wires or anything like that in case you need to move your mirror and stuff. Now that we got the wires ran and everything, next thing we want to do is bolt on our housing and then the mortar. So first I'll start with the housing. Alright, that's the housing one, so it's nice and secure. And next will be the mortar itself. Alright, our motor is now mounted with the housing and everything, so everything's good on this end. So the next step now, when since we have everything mounted and bolted on, is of course plugging in our heater for the mirror. And the last step will be clipping on the mirror to the mortar. There you go. And that's how you would install these covers.
Yep.
Alright, so now that we have these wires you just want to put them in the side and then start putting in this rubber piece, because this rubber piece will still give it some sort of protection. Because to fish them through here, it's gonna be really hard because they're really tight fit. So once we have that, all we gotta do is put this ring back in there. So now it's in there, the wire's there. This one's not going anywhere either. And now we could put back our weather seal. So same thing, let's run the wires through here first. This is the longest one. Next one will be the white one. And lastly, your main connection for the mirror. Have all that, you just push it all the way in. Like so. And that's how you would do the install of this new cover on a pre-facelift mirrors.